Hello, hello, everybody, and thank you all for coming. I turn up the sound.
Turn it up more.
All right, is that any better in the back? Okay, welcome everybody. This is a special time for us. Those on the brain health team have been working all year to fruition. Next Saturday, the walk across the Hudson for Alzheimer's. A couple of things. First of all, there's a sign up sheet at Concierge. There will be transportation leaving here next Saturday at 9:30. So if you're interested and you don't want to go yourself and face that awful parking situation, take transportation, sign up 9:30 next Saturday. Walk starts at 10. Actually, the presentation start at 10. Walk starts at 10. I think it's 10:20 or thereabouts. So you have a little bit of time. Second of all, donations. We are always accepting donations towards Alzheimer's. If you choose to give us check, cash, or charge, I personally can take the charge information. I have an app on my phone, but you can give a check to Concierge. You can give a check to Tom Gilder, to Pat Hauk, to Susan Smith. We'll take your checks. Any amount would be most appreciated. The team has an account. You can go online. I will post the app and the link so that anybody who wants can go online directly and make a team donation. And if you have anybody else in the walk and you want to make a donation to them, you could do it the same way. Make checks payable to the Alzheimer's Association. Please, this is strictly for Alzheimer's for the walk. So today's presentation, we've asked our very own Matt Romer to talk about the brain health exercises that we all can do to keep our mind sharp, improve cognition, and give us all around support for exercise and body and health. Before we start, I have a special gift for Matt. We have a Alzheimer's walk bag as well as a water bottle. So you don't need those plastic bottles. Oh yeah, and the shirt. You don't need to carry those plastic water bottles anymore.
All right, thank
So
you.
Matt, on behalf of
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I now turn it over to our own Matt. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. How is everyone? Good. All right, so I'm pretty sure I've met everyone, but I haven't. My name is Matt Romer. I'm the fitness coordinator here at Woodland Pond, and I have been asked to be today's presenter. It's not working? It's on. Yeah, I can make it louder. Is that better? Okay. And I have created a presentation here for everyone, and we will be discussing the powerful impact of exercise on brain health. I'm just going to jump right into it. I believe last month the presenter discussed a little bit on the US Pointer study. So I just have a slide here just discussing a little bit on it if you did not attend last month's presentation. Basically, it was the first large-scale study done here in the United States designed to see if lifestyle changes will protect or improve memory and thinking in older adults who are at an increased risk of cognitive decline. There was a similar study done in Finland called the Finger Study. It went over the same similar intervention lifestyle changes such as diet, exercise, sleep, social engagement to see if it could improve brain function. How the study worked is they had individuals of the age 60 or older who had risk factors for dementia. Some of those risk factors were high blood pressure, diabetes, sedentary lifestyle, and family history. They broke the program into two groups. We'll say Group A and Group B. Group A followed the intervention lifestyle changes, and Group B just kind of went on with their life, continued what they were doing, general health education and some light exercises. And it was also a 2-year trial. It launched in 2018. They're still collecting results and studying the data. And again, the goal was to see if lifestyle changes can delay or prevent Alzheimer's disease and other neurodegenerative diseases. Moving on, I have the recipe right from the US Pointer Study website. As you can see, the 4 components, you have physical exercise, cognitive exercise, health monitoring, and nutrition. I'm mostly going to spend most of the presentation going over exercise, but I'd like to point out, all 4 are very important. I'm not a registered nutritionist or dietitian, but nutrition is really close up there with exercise. What you're putting in your body is super important. So please, eat healthy and, try to incorporate all 4 components. And like I said earlier, they're still collecting data, but from what's been completed, it shows that there's 30 to 40% decrease in dementia risks. Also, like the US Pointer study, there was a study done in Finland. It was called the Finger study, pretty much similar to what the Pointer study was, went over the same intervention lifestyle changes. They had a little over 1,200 participants over the age of 60, and they found that there was a 25% increase in overall cognition, 83% overall increase in executive function, 40% increase in complex memory tasks, and 150% in processing speed. Something that I didn't know while I was doing research that I found pretty interesting that I'd like to share is I came across this protein, this gene that is in humans. It's not in everyone. According to research, 15 to 25% of the population does have this protein. They are estimating that it could be more, but for today, we'll go with 15 to 25%, and 2 to 5% carry 2 copies of this protein, 1 from each parent. This protein does increase your risk of Alzheimer's disease, but it's important to note that not everyone who carries this APOE4 will develop Alzheimer's disease. And secondly, carriers of APOE4 actually have an increased risk of absorbing the bad cholesterol levels. So there is good and there is bad cholesterol. This one actually increases bad cholesterol, and studies have shown exercise will help lower the bad cholesterol, which will help with the APOE4 and improve your cardiovascular system. I have a little diagram on the bottom. I know it's small. I couldn't really make it much bigger, but on the left side, you have inactive carriers of APOE4, and on the right side, you have active APOE4 carriers. You can see the black arrows going down and the blue arrows going up. You can see the active individuals had a significant improvement in good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, and BDNF. We'll get into that in a little bit. That's really important moving forward. And, their cognition improved. And here on the side, you could see APOE4 carriers often have a lower BDNF level. I believe that's on the next slide, so we'll dig a little deeper into that. And exercise has been shown to help balance those levels. And a couple other things, exercise will help improve lipid balance, cardiovascular health, and regulate glucose and lower diabetes risk. On the next slide here, we'll talk about the BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor. I would like to think of that as fertilizer for your brain. So when we exercise, it's being released, stimulating the brain, and there is no pharmaceutical out there right now that can match what exercise does. So again, exercise is super important. Doesn't matter what we're doing, just moving, keeping the brain active. And again, studies have shown that consistent exercise will increase brain-derived neurotrophic factor. In the diagram below, I have an individual who is running. You could see a couple different chain reactions are going on. A few months ago, I did put an article in a newsletter talking about myokines, which is super important for the body, for the muscles, for inflammation, again, for the brain. But you could see all the reactions leading to 5 different BDNF reactions in the brain, just, increasing those levels. Next, I'm sure you all have seen an anatomy chart of a brain. I don't have all the areas, all the regions, but I put the 4, important parts that play into memory, thinking, cognitive function, that sort of thing. And on the far side, I have a brain scan of an active brain and an inactive brain. You can see there's a whole lot going on with the active brain versus the inactive brain. Not a whole lot of, blood flow, not a whole lot of, action going on there. I'm going to spend a lot of time on the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex. I found that these 2 areas of the brain were targeted early in the early stages of these neurodegenerative diseases. So the hippocampus, a couple of responsibilities that it has is memory formation, spatial navigation, learning, and context awareness. So, time, place, emotions, processing information, remembering locations, routes, and layouts, and converting short-term to long-term memory. And the prefrontal cortex has few more responsibilities, but we have decision-making, executive functions, impulse control, social behavior, working memory, and attention and focus. Weighing options, planning, organizing, regulating emotions, that sort of stuff. So here's the impact of exercise on the hippocampus. Exercise has a significant impact here and is one of the reasons movement is so closely linked to better memory. A couple things that exercise will do here for the hippocampus is promote neurogenesis, which is creating new brain cells. The hippocampus is the only region of the brain where new neurons can grow. And again, exercise will boost the brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which we said was a protein that encourages growth and survival of these neurons. As we age, the hippocampus tends to shrink, so exercising actually keeps the hippocampus larger and more functional as we age. Next, increased blood flow and oxygen. Just like the cardiovascular system, when we're working out, our heart rate is elevating. We're pumping more blood through the body, so it's creating cerebral blood flow through the brain, meaning more oxygen and nutrients are reaching the hippocampus. This is promoting memory formation and age-related shrinkage. Also, again, the APOE4 carriers tend to have a reduced cerebral blood flow, which reflects early vascular and metabolic dysfunction. Third, we have enhances synaptic plasticity. Physical activity will strengthen the connection between the neurons and the hippocampus, making learning and memory retrieval quicker, and decreases inflammation, just like with the myokines that's being secreted while we exercise. Inflammation damages tissue, so regular exercise will lower inflammation and oxidative stress, leading to a healthier environment for your cells. And lower stress hormones. High cortisol is not good for your body or your brain, so high cortisol shrinks the hippocampus. Exercise will regulate these levels and protect memory. Moving on, we have the prefrontal cortex. Couple similarities here, but again, blood flow and oxygen delivery. Exercise, again, increases the blood flow through the brain, which supplies the prefrontal cortex with oxygen and nutrients. Neuroplasticity and connectivity, similar to the hippocampus, again, raises the BDNF, helping neurons in the PFC stay strong. And not like the hippocampus, new neurons cannot grow in this part of the brain. So once they are damaged, this causes weak connections, resulting in poor attention and executive functions. Exercise will help strengthen the connection, the communication between the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex. These two areas of the brain need to work together, so exercise will enhance connections between these regions. Again, reducing stress, preserve function, and supports cognitive reserve. Even if Alzheimer's pathology develops, a more active PFC can compensate for damage, delaying cognitive decline and maintaining independence. Here is a little different study outside of the pointer study and the finger study. This study just focused on exercise. It didn't include, diet, sleep, and that sort of thing. Just focused on strength training and preventing dementia. So if you're not familiar with strength training or resistance training, it's building strength and endurance from an external force. So weights, resistance bands, medicine balls, kettlebells, that sort of thing. A smaller group in this study, they only had 2 groups of 100 individuals, and this was actually the age 55 or older with mild cognitive impairment. Again, we'll say group 1, they were enrolled in a regimented exercise program for 3 days per week for 6 months, and they focused more on vigorous, high-intensity exercises. And group 2 focused more on light exercises for the same amount of time for 6 months, and just continued doing what they were. And they tested before and after, and they found that the group who was exercising with a trainer regularly showed a significant improvement in cognitive function. Here I put together a chart of just the different types of exercises that I believe are important to focus on just for your body and for your brain health. You have low, moderate, and high intensity, short-term interval training and aerobics, social dancing, mind and body, and multimodal. I have some examples of each one, and I also added what classes here at Woodland Pond will help work on those different areas. So as you can see, low, moderate, and high, I could have put a few different ones in, but I kind of kept it more based towards the low intensity. You have walking, jogging, and cycling and swimming, all things we can do here on campus. And I offer open swim, walks with Matt, and the fitness center with Matt. Short-term interval training, we have interval walking, we have a treadmill, we have a new step, an elliptical in the gym, and aerobic classes, water aerobics, stretch and strengthen, those sort of things will help work on that. And social dancing, I believe we offer English country and square dance here, and Nora Brown, one of our residents, she holds a movement, music, and you class that I've heard great things about, so give it a try. And, ballroom, line dancing, and Zumba. I've had a lot of residents ask about Zumba. It's something I'm trying to work on and put together. One that I really find important is mind and body, the connection there. So taking part in Tai Chi, yoga, or Qigong, those are great things to focus on. And we have yoga with Deborah Moore here. We have chair yoga and Tai Chi that I offer. And we have a future resident, Kathy. She's been coming, I believe, once a week if we can make it work. And she holds a very good Tai Chi class. I would recommend coming down and giving it a try. And lastly, we have multimodal, which is incorporating all the components of exercise, strength, endurance, coordination, balance, and aerobic. And I have a couple classes here, the circuit, again, stretch and strength and balance, stability, and water aerobics. These guidelines have been around for a while. I would recommend, still trying to follow them. They've been working pretty well, and it's to try to get at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise per week. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It's 30 minutes for 5 days a week, giving you 2 days of rest. Or if you're very active now, they recommend just 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic exercise. If you're not familiar with aerobic exercise, it's exercise that requires the body's use of oxygen for energy production, elevating your heart rate, your blood flow, your breathing rate. And some other recommendations that I would make is at least 3 days of, strength training, working those muscles, and 2 days of improving balance. I do offer balance and stability twice a week, so that would give you your 2 days right there. And lastly here, I looked into some other studies. I couldn't incorporate the finger study or the pointer study because they focused on multiple lifestyle intervention changes. So these studies here, as you can see, and a few slides back where I mentioned strength training and preventing dementia, I put together all the data, and you can see on the graph over to the right, there was a 35% decrease in those who exercise regularly. The inactive adults, the bar went way off the chart, so I just kind of stopped it there. But so yeah, as you can see, exercise, will do a lot for your body, for your brain. Again, I offer a ton of classes here. I'm hoping to add more as we finish the renovations. I feel like the exercise program has been going really well. So please, if you haven't come down and give it a try, come down, join us. You can watch the classes from home as well. And I think that's all I got for you. So, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I think, that's all I got.
Any questions? Questions?
Perfect.
Okay, one question. How about a punching bag?
I knew that was coming. Yeah, I'd love to get one. We really just don't have the space now. I know they're working downstairs right now because that's where the fitness center will be moving. So once the space is completed and we have, the equipment set up, I'll see if we have some space. I don't mind putting one in. And then even when the renovations are done, I'm sure we'll have some space to put one in. You want a body bag or a speed bag? A speed bag, okay. All right.
I'm getting my exercise.
There you go.
Does swimming laps count as strength training, or do I need the weights also?
No, it's an external force because the water is your resistance. So that's strength training. It's a lot of cardio too, but it's really hitting all the components of, exercise. So I love swimming. I recommend, I think swimming is one of the best exercise we can do, and it's easy on your joints. So yeah, I would say it is.
Any possibility of putting in a third strength and balance class during the week, even if it was a recorded?
The one that we did
class?
this morning?
Yeah, like the one we did this morning.
Yeah, I could fit one in for you, absolutely, even if it's a recording. I'm not sure what days will work. I'll talk with Carrie to see, because right now the pack is kind of where everything is happening, but absolutely, I'll note it down and I'll get back to everyone on it, okay?
How about more scheduling in the afternoon for some of these exercise classes?
So that's something I'd love to add to the schedule. It's again just finding space, a room to hold the classes. Right now, again, the pack is our only spot where we have the screen and the audio. I believe I inquired to see if we can add this audio system downstairs, because they're splitting the storage room into 3 separate rooms. So if they do, I'd be happy to add some extra, afternoon classes. I know not everyone's a morning person, so yeah, I'll see, afternoon or evening classes.
I'd like to thank you, Matt. You've done a lot more than just going over Pointer and Finland study, but what did come through with all of these is the importance of continuous exercise, not
Yes.
to do it just 1 or 2 days. And your last slide showed 3 days of this and 2 days of that. But the upper body is the one that was pointed out as most important if you're concerned about memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's. Upper body for purposes of circulation of blood flow. And that's why it's continuous, not just 1 day or 2 days a week.
Yeah, no, I recommend, try to work out as, much as you can, at least 3 days a week. And try not to just do the same routine all the time. Try to switch it up. After a while, you kind of hit a plateau and you're not really seeing much improvement. So, challenge yourself. Arm exercises, leg exercises are a good one. I recommend doing both. We need our legs to stay independent, moving, getting up and down, and, arms. So, try to work a little bit of everything.
Any other questions? Oh,
I'm trying to think of what finger stands for. It looked like it's initials for something.
I couldn't tell you. I'm sure the F stands for Finland, but everywhere I
I'll look
looked,
it up.
it didn't really give out the full, it just was like the acronym of it. So I can look it up for you and let you know.
Did you? I just have a comment. Matt,
Yes.
is this on? I want to know.
I felt like I was getting in trouble here.
I'm not your mother. I just want to know, are you going to have a staff working for you? Because you're planning on adding all these other things and they're only 24 hours a day.
I know, I agree. I'm not sure. It's something that Michelle and Cameron and I and Jason have mentioned. I haven't really sat down and discussed it with them. It's something I was planning to do, especially with the larger space we'll have. I'd love to add more, especially even over in the health center. I like going over there and working with the health center residents. So again, yeah, I only have so much time. So I'd love to, add on to the fitness staff. I have to check with Michelle and Cameron, make sure, that's something that we can do, but that's something I'm looking at for sure.
Question. Are these slides going to be available to us?
I could make it shareable. I can also make some printouts. It's going to be a lot of papers though, so I'll see what I can do. I mean, I can also email it to you if you'd like that.
Okay, that'd be fine.
Okay, I can email it.
and on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So it is being recorded and it'll be on YouTube. So, you can follow and look it up on there, or I'll just email it to you. That's fine.
And the second question is, we see advertisements all the time on television for these things that sit on the ground and you move your feet around.
Like a bicycle?
No, it's a,
Like a portable bike?
yeah. It's,
Oh, and you put it like if you had a desk job sort of thing. And okay.
yeah. Is that worth anything or not?
I mean, it's good for your legs movement, but I would recommend, getting up, coming to the gym and doing it instead of just, sitting on the couch and lounging back and doing it. So, come down to the fitness center. But no, it's better than nothing. I'm actually looking at, when we have the new space, I'd like to add a new piece of equipment. It's actually an arm bike, and on the bottom it has the bicycle function, so 2 different ones.
Matt, when you say the you're moving the sports center downstairs. Is that just for the equipment or for your classes or both?
Probably both. I'll still have the pack for a majority of the classes. But like today, usually I do chair yoga at 10 and they had the Sawyer Savings Program in here. So I did chair yoga in the art studio, but they're also using the space downstairs as a flex room. So if I do have to do classes downstairs, I will. And the gym will also be down there. So, you know, we'll try to do both if we can. It's not a far walk. It's right near the elevator. So, you know, don't be afraid to come down.
Matt, I'd like to give a plug for exercise Saturday next week, the walk across the Hudson, back and forth,
Right.
3 miles.
All right. Yeah. It's a long
You know,
walk.
get it in. Join us.
So-
So sign up and participate and it'll be great. You feel great going across, coming back. Hopefully no wind, no rain. We're hoping for good weather, but it's a rain or shine deal. There are benches going across and mobility devices are transportable, so don't worry about that. And I do not encourage bringing your dogs. People bring their dogs and I think they're really, that's not the thing to do because there's a lot of people walking and they stop and run the risk of getting stepped on. So anyway, please join me. Thank you to thank Matt.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And tomorrow I actually have a walk around campus at 10 a.m. if you'd like to come and join us. You know, we usually walk the trail, go around campus. So come down and join us. We'll meet in the lobby.
I'd like to give a plug to the trails. For the first time in the 4.5 years I'm here last week, I got to walk the trails, no mobility device. So
Yeah.
that was great. So I'm actually getting out and getting walking and hopefully not too soon I'll be taking some of the classes. So thank you all for coming on behalf of the Brain Health Group. We thank you. We are looking forward to, once again to Saturday next week. And please feel free to join us. And we have the #1 tent. So we'll be welcoming everybody as they get off the bus or come in by car, however you're doing it. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.